everyone, Victoria here again, and today I'm sharing with you a bit of a spontaneous project. So this is my collection of watercolours. I've got over 20 tins in my collection, all from different brands, and I started this project this week and immediately thought, what on earth have I done? So I've decided to move all of the colours into those wooden trays and organise them by colour. I think this will make all of the colours more accessible. At the moment, I have them separated by brands into those different tins, and I just think by having them in colour order, it's going to really encourage me to just focus on the colour rather than the brand, and I think that's going to bring a whole different thing to my creative practice. So I started off by removing the colours from the current tins, and here you can see that I'm marking the sides of the pans because for me, I do want to be able to refer back and know which brand the paint is from and what colour that is, so that as they become empty I can refill them from my stash of tubes or look at repurchasing. So as I started to do this and take all of the colours out of the tins, I really did realise just what a collection I've amassed, really. I started watercolouring just over 7 years ago, and during that time I've bit by bit added to my collection as I've seen different colours by different brands that I liked. I am a bit of a colour junkie, and I hadn't quite realised the depth of my problem, and I'm going to say that it is a problem. I have over 500 colours in this collection, and I'm sure that during my lifetime I am never going to use all of those 500 colours. However, they're nice to have. So I started off taking them all out, and then you can see here I was going to start organising them straight into the wooden trays, and very quickly realised that there was no way I was going to be constantly shifting the colours as the trays became full. So I decided to start laying them out on the desk so that I could get a little bit of a feel of how many colours there were in each colour family. So I started with the whites and the beiges and the golds at the top, moved into the yellows and the oranges, the pinks, the reds, the maroons, the violets, the blues, the greens, and then some of the more naturals colours. And as soon as I had them laid out like this, straight away I started to get excited, because you can see there all the brands are mixed in. I've kind of got them in colour orders from pale to dark. However, it isn't a perfect science, and honestly, I think it would have taken hours if I'd have got this exactly right. And I actually think, with hindsight, that it's probably a good thing the colours are all a little bit mixed in, because then when I'm creating, it's just going to be easier to kind of get a variety of colours in my paints. So then my next move was to put them in the trays. So here they are in the wooden trays. The wooden trays I purchased from Amazon, and they're actually food trays. But there's a small gap at the side and at one end, but I'm not too worried about that. And my plan is to kind of have these lying around on my desk, just so that they're always in reach. You can see here with them all laid out in the finished trays on my desk that they do take up quite a lot of room. So I think that what I'll probably do is pick a colour tray, keep that on my desk, and then I do have a shelving unit behind my desk that I'll store the others on. So with all those colours laid out, my next task was to swatch them all out so that I have a record that I can refer back to. The colours can look a little bit deceptive in the pans. You know, you can see there with some of those greens that they look almost black to the eye when they're dried in the pan. So I'm going to swatch them all out on paper and then keep a record of the brand and the name of the colour as well. And then these will just be really useful to refer back to when I am creating. If I want to use a particular colour, I'll be able to really quickly and easily find that. To make the swatching cards, I took out a pad of mixed media paper and cut them down to size, measuring out 17 spaces across, which is the most watercolours that I have in any one row, and 5 down. And then you could see there it was just a case of methodically going through each tray, taking the colours out to look which brand and colour they were, and then writing the details on in waterproof ink. And then it was time to go in and fill in the cards. So here you can see that I'm filling in some of the swatch colours, and I really enjoyed this process. I do love swatching anyway. I think it's just a really kind of relaxing way to enjoy your colours without the pressure of painting something really specific. But honestly, laying down these colours on the page and seeing how they all play together, it was really inspiring. It's given me some really good ideas for mixes and things that I want to try in the future that I might not have tried had I kept them all in the separate pans with the different brands. I think it was just getting such a hassle to get out the different tins that it was becoming quite obstructive to me using all the different colours. And so I'm really excited to have all the different colours just there to hand. You know, if I'm painting something I want a green, can just get this green tray out and pick the colour that I want regardless of what brand it's from. Because really, when you are looking at your art, you are looking at the colours and things that you use. It isn't really about thinking, you know, oh, that was a paint from Winsor & Newton. Oh, look at that paint from Daniel Smith. Whilst that might be important in terms of replacing colours and the colours that you reach for most often, it's useful to have that information to know, hence why I've included it on the swatch card. But it isn't kind of your primary concern when you're painting. And I think I want to take some of those boundaries that I kind of put in place in the way that I structure my art space, so that my creative process feels a little bit more free, I suppose. And, you know, that I can really focus on what I'm putting on the page rather than the supplies that I use. And as a supply junkie, that can be quite a challenge, really, because I have got in a habit of collecting all the supplies, hence why I've ended up with more than 500 watercolours. So I think sometimes it's really easy to get wrapped up in having all these colours. And even though I do mixed colours, I really like having colours to hand instantaneously, and that's why I suppose I've amassed such a big collection. Because, you know, let's face it, you don't need over 500 colours in your collection. You know, as an artist and mixing your own colours, it is possible to get a really wide range of colours just from those 3 basic primaries. You know, from your yellow, your red and your blue. The world is your oyster. But I just find it really convenient to have colours just right to hand without thinking about how to mix a particular colour. And just different people work in different ways. And this is what works for me. So here are the swatch cards all finished. So when I've completed them, you can see that I've just kind of put them all on a metal ring there at the end, and that's just so that I can hang that on the board at the side of my desk, so that they're really easy to just grab and access whenever I need them. Here are some of the pinks and the purples and the reds. I just really love how these all, like I say, mix together. It's just a really inspiring way to have a look at that overall colour collection. And I can't wait to start creating art with them. Now that they're organised in this way, it's going to be really interesting to see, I think, if my colour choices change, if the work that I'm producing is any different. I'm just really interested to see kind of where this leads, I suppose. And I think for sure it's going to make a difference in those colour journeys that I have when I am creating a piece. And I think, you know, I create a lot of mixed media work. I really did start off just with watercolours, and painting flowers was the thing that kind of first got me interested, and that was what I wanted to do. And then as I wanted to explore other techniques and the mixed media thing took hold, my watercolours did get pushed a little bit to one side, and I really want to kind of embrace more watercolours again as part of my work going forward. So that's also why I've created my watercolour traveller's notebook that I showed in a previous video. I think that will become a really useful space to just experiment with some of these colours and try different mixing without the pressure of producing a finished piece. And for me, that's really important because I don't always have lots of time. I work full time, so this is very much something that I do in my spare time, and sometimes that time's precious, so doing something really quick in a journal is really accessible. So here I'm just showing you how that kind of looks in my studio art space. So you could see there I had a couple of trays on the desk. I've put the swatch cards up on my board at the side of my desk. And then here you can see the other trays laid out along the cabinet on the back. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's video. It's given you a bit of an insight into my practice. So until next time, wishing you a happy creative week. Bye.